I'm ready to mix my henna with my Zekhara Indigo, and I have a spoon, cruddy old spoon that I really don't care about. I use a half a cup of the Zekhara in with my portion of, in with the Rajasthani Twilight henna. You will need gloves, so buy yourself a cheap pair of gloves. They are disposable. You can get a whole box of these. They're like 100 of them for $6 or $7. So, and then I'll be ready to apply it to my hair. I'm going to snip open the Zekhara, measure it, add it to my henna, mix it with a little extra water, because as you can see it, remember I was telling you it gets a little bit more liquidy. At any rate, you have to add more water when you add the indigo. So I'll mix it with a little bit of, also I use about 1/4 teaspoon of salt, or a couple dashes of salt is good. They recommend you do that, and they just said it just helps to break down whatever the plants, I don't know if it's plant proteins, that I actually don't know. I don't remember why she told me to do that, but they just recommend you use a little bit of salt in with your Zekhara Indigo. Now, the other thing they say to do is to do it in a separate bowl and then combine it. I have not found a difference between adding it straight into my henna and doing it in a separate bowl and then combining it. So to save a bowl and a step, I just measure it out and it goes straight in here along with the salt and the water. All right, I added 1/4 cup already. Here is the other 1/4 cup of the indigo. Now, once you start mixing this with water, you have about 10 minutes to get it on your hair, to fully apply it to your hair. So I need to get busy. I'm going to add my water with it. I'll show you the consistency and then I'll start applying. Okay, I have my daughter filming me. So she's a great camera woman. So this is what it looks like when the Zekhara Indigo is mixed in with the henna. And now I want to put on my gloves. You definitely want gloves for this process. Any type of latex. Don't! I gotta hurry up! Okay. The worst of my roots that show are straight up through the center, and then I just take it in 1/4 sections and part it and then paste it on from there. So I'm going to start in the center, and I do have a spot back here that it tends to hold the gray root. It's a little bit more resistant to the henna. So you take a good amount in your palm of your hand. I'm going to put that in there. Looks like that. And you just start going right down the center. I drag my nail across to the next section. Some people can use a fine-tooth comb, but I have tried that and I haven't found that it works any better. And then I have a comb that's getting all glopped up, and that's hard to manipulate, especially the more henna you get on your hair. It's harder to twist the pieces. So another 1/4 layer right there. And these are the front sections. For some reason they are more resistant, so I tend to put a lot more on those parts of my hair. And I just keep going all the way across until I get to about here. And sure, you can't laugh. Your face is so beet red.
I'm trying so hard to open it. Okay.
So I'll just continue in 1/4 sections until I get all the way down to this side, this part of my hair, and then I'll switch sides and I'll do the same thing until I get to about there, and then I have to take my glasses off to do around my ears and up and underneath. So I'm just going to continue with this. And from here forward, Charlotte, I'm not going to say anything because I'm just going to fast forward this. So you can laugh all you want now.
Well, I didn't know we were going to reach a silent moment.
So you just have to be practical about how much you're using and gauge it. And I gauge about half of the bowl for one half of my hair. And then I'll switch over to the other side, but you don't want to run out. So you have to be, you'll get used to it the more you do it, how much you need for each side. And you'll start to see when it's getting a little bit low that you need to stop and switch.
Goop.
Okay, once you're at this point, you have to either be fancy and wrap it in saran wrap. I'm just being real. I use a plastic grocery bag. Walmart. Make sure you open it wide. You don't want to drag this across your hair and have it go down on your clothes. I just pull it over, grab the two handles, pull it up. Tie it off in the front. Like that. Squish the air out. And then the final step is you need heat. And then in order to get a little heat, which helps it, hold steady. Do you have me? Okay.
Uh-huh.
So I have an old winter hat that I use.
Okay.
And here we are. So now you gotta wait about 3 to 3.5 hours. I usually do about 3:15 because the henna has sat for a couple of days before I was able to apply it. I'll probably leave it in just a little bit longer, but 3 hours I think is peak for the indigo. After that, the henna kind of takes over. So again, just because my henna was a little bit, older, it was sat for a couple of days, I want to see what happens. I would rather leave it on just a little bit longer to ensure that I don't end up with purple or green hair. Now I'm going to go sit down and watch a movie with my daughter, who was so kind to film this for me. I'll see you guys after it's done.
Cut.
And I owe a special thanks to Charlotte, who put up with me through this, because she's absolutely horrified at me publicly placing a plastic bag over my head. But this is how it goes.